Hey guys, this is Block of Lapis, and welcome to part 2 of the LCF renovation. Now I will admit this is my second take on doing this, my second recording. The first one got corrupted. But anyways, today I will be showing off the rest of the renovation that I did on the LCF's World project. Now it's been about, what, a year and a half since the last part of this, where essentially what I decided to do was I flipped the LCF Pro house, which is where we are now, of course, sitting on the balcony, and I guess to fit with what LCF would do when he uploaded, we'll just come down here, we'll jump down, and we'll grab a suit from the suit room. So I guess what suit can we do today? Yeah, I guess let's go with this tuxedo. Let's go with the tuxedo, why not? So we'll just throw this on, and we can just, throw all these in the back of the inventory. And yeah, today essentially what I decided to do was I renovated the rest of LCF's world, basically, other than the house. Because the house I did last time. But yeah, essentially, there will be no time lapse for this one. It took like 200 gigabytes of storage to get all that. Well, not even to get all of it, to get only like half of the work that I did. So I do not feel like compressing all of that, nor do I even have a lot of the footage. So I mean, this is probably like a 45 hour project, something like that. So this is a lot of time that I simply just put into it just because I thought this would be fun to do. And yeah, so here we go. So to start off the tour, pretty much anything, this house, that area there, that was all in the last part. So if you want to look for what we're doing now, I decided to split this area into two parts, and I'm doing this one in creative. But I decided to split the entire world into two parts. There is this area here, which is more rural-ish, foresty. There's a couple, the houses are all moved to this side. And then this side is more, city-based, more urban-based. So you got all the shops and whatever are all in this half of the world. So I'll start off over here in the housing area. So over here, the first house that we have, I believe, is Spirit Nemo's house. This house was originally over in the shopping area, and I decided to move it over here. Well, I moved all the houses over here. I just went over that, but this house was the more interesting one, probably the most interesting one of all the houses, other than LCF's house itself, because there wasn't really much in it. There was this bed, which I shrunk to a single bed, unfortunately. It wouldn't have enough space. He had a computer in his room, but interestingly, one of the most interesting parts of this entire little house was that there was this part that jutted out at the back, and it was literally just a wooden spruce corridor, a couple windows, and a computer at the end. So because this is the more naturey half of the world, I decided to flip it and just make a little natural walkway out here. So you have a couple plants, have a couple torches, just a bunch of leaves and foliage above here, and this is pretty much the gist of this build. Now, like, under here was originally a couple little waterways and terrain and things like that. So I decided to connect it up to the little water streams and the waterfall that came off of the actual waterfall from over there. So this kind of forms a weird little... Is delta the word? I don't know if delta is the word, but there's this cool little terrain thing where it's like sloping downwards, but also having trees and like various waterways connecting. I think it's cool. I really like it. But yeah, that is what I did with Spirit Nemo's house. So right across from Spirit Nemo, we have the rest of the stables, and I decided to split the stables from the barn, simply just because I thought it would be like, you can get to the stables without going all the way over to there, which is where I put the barn. And so I decided, let's just put it here. And I kept the same general pattern, like the little, stairs and fence gates. But I decided to make it brick to fit with the actual barn, even though it's separated, and I went with a more spruce theme. And we have 3 horses now instead of 2. So yeah, now coming down here, you see this is that one random acacia tree that was always on the corner. I don't know why it was there, but I decided to put it here again, and it looks good. It kind of overarches this pathway along next to these stoplights. And we have this little wheat right here, this little wheat patch. Because over here in the original, as well as in this renovation, there is a little patch of wheat along the side. So I decided to, put a little wheat farm here as well. Now we're going to go over to the rest of the farms over here now. So you can see just right over here, we have a wheat field, carrot field, potato field, and a melon pumpkin field. Just so I could, keep the entire farm theme. Actually, the point of this is because, like, this entire little indentation area, this is all actually like plains. So in order to keep it in the spruce taiga theme, I decided to just turn it all into forest, not into forest, into farmland, and it works. It's great. So I'm keeping it like that. So there we go. Also, it makes the farm look a lot more, well, it makes the farm a lot bigger, so you can actually harvest a lot more. As well, it just looks better along with the little cobblestone wall going around it. Next up, right here, we have the beetroot farm. Now, in the actual beetroot farm, there's like this little arch thing that went over, no, it was a more modern build. It was in the similar shape to this. However, it had like blue glass on each side, and there's only like a single row of beetroot on each side. So I decided to, because it kind of looked like a fossil, it looked like a dinosaur rib cage, I decided to actually turn it into a full dinosaur rib cage by making it, well, into a full dinosaur rib cage. And you can kind of walk under here, and it's really quite cool. And you have some beetroot along the side, and that's pretty much that. I don't know. This is probably one of the more creative takes on a little part I wanted to renovate in this world. So I'm very pleased with it. It's not too good, but it's also not terrible. It has to be a little wonky because it's along this diagonal path. But anyways, that diagonal path brings us to the barn. Now I decided to make the barn a lot taller. The roof is a lot thicker. It is also now spruce instead of a stone brick, and there's less like quartz, so it looks a bit less new, I guess you'd say. Now, in line with the original barn, you have this little rows all the way here with all these sheep. In here, you have a corresponding shulker box to the color of a sheep with the wool that you wanted. And over here on each side, there's a little ladder that takes us up to the top floor with the rest of the sheep with the shulker box. And at the end, there's a little chest with the shears and the item frames above it. However, unlike the original, you actually have this huge, like, opening up here instead of having an attic. And it's pretty cool. And you're actually able to, like, kind of, like, fly out of here with the elytra if you really want to. Or you can fly into it if you want to from there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did with the barn. Trying to go a little fast, and sorry about that, but yeah, there's not a lot to say, I guess, right? But over here, we have the chicken coop, and again, not much to say about it, it's just the chicken coop. But there's no chickens. The chicken coop with no chickens. Well, maybe, hang on, where is it? It's the weird color egg. Why is chicken egg colored this way? I don't know, but there we go. Now we have a chicken coop with chickens. There we go. And I decided to kind of add in the same brown stained clay like I did on the barn, as well as bring in this spruce just to go with this, just to accent the color of the spruce. Or no, bring in the dark oak to accent the color of the spruce, you know. So yeah, that's the chicken coop, simple enough. Over here, I decided to change the mushroom farm a little bit, so instead of being a single mushroom with a room below it, it's just a couple mushrooms along this path right now. No real farm, but I don't know, I think it looks cool. Also, I discovered this. I was pick blocking the sides of some of these mushrooms, and it's just really weird. Look at this. Like, just pick blocking the top of here. Look at all these wacky mushrooms. I don't know why it's like that on Xbox One Edition. Maybe it's a bug, I don't know. But yeah, I found that interesting while I was building. Anyways, over here, if I just get rid of everything, I want to grab my sword so I can, like, you know, punch at things without breaking them. Also, you can still block. I forgot about blocking, genuinely. So yeah, I can still block. You guys have caves and cliffs and copper, but I have blocking, so who's the real winner? Xbox One Edition gang. But yeah, anyways, over here we have Russian Boy's house, and again, it's a very empty house on the inside. You just have these two little perking arches here. I should have put a chandelier in the middle, but a bit too late for that now. But we have up here, we just have a little storage area, and a chest, a couple, you know, chests for general storage. But down here, we have the little bedroom, and we have another little area for storage. He had two, like, sides of his house that were both, like, very small rooms. I put another area here for, like, a computer, and another area here for just, you know, storage, but also an anvil and a crafting table for more, I guess, important stuff. And then on the side of this, again, if you want to come up the stairs, same matching, you know, carpets right there. You come up to the top with another kind of matching carpet, and this is essentially the top patio, I guess you'd call it. Then you have a big long table. You can put some, you know, foods and things, throw a big party. You can have a grill if you just want to grill, for God's sake. You want to just, have some cakes, some melons. I think there's a pumpkin here, yeah. I don't know why I didn't make it face. I'm very professional. But yeah, you have a couple of flower boxes, a couple of torches, and yeah, that's pretty much what I decided to do with Russian Boy's house. I don't know, I like the flip. Like, instead of having it majority oak, I just turned it to spruce, simply because it would match better with what I did with Spirit Nemo and LCF. So yeah, I think I like this house. Like, even the original, it's like a really unique shape with the unique entrances on all sides. So it's a cool house. I like it. He did a good job. And anyways, the final house to talk about is this one here, which is Moderator Dude's house. Now you may be thinking, oh, why is it a lighthouse? Well, I decided to go with the theming of, it can be a bit more of a lighthouse, water, aquatic, whatever thing, because I have a couple boats here, a couple ports. I'll get to that later. But I also decided, you know what? I'm not going to terraform an entire mountain just for one house, or an entire thin mountain just for one house. And I decided, because the sun is there and the sun sets in that area, one of the common things that would be joked about in LCF's world, which is the entire justification for building the tower originally, I believe, was that Moderator Dude's house would block the view of the sunset from LCF's house. So having a gigantic tower also kind of blocks that view if it's going straight down and it's going to be behind there. So I decided to keep that going, as well as making it kind of fit in with this, a river, coastal, port type of thing. So if you want to come down here into the bottom, you have the stairs, which kind of mimic the entire gigantic staircase coming out of LCF's house to go up to Moderator Dude's house. So you have the campfire, not the campfire. I'm just going to light it just because, like here. There we go. Okay. We have lit the fireplace now. And we have his little, window out here, which was originally also kind of part of the campfire, but we don't, we have a storage corner here just because you want to get all the storage you can. And we have the bedroom just here. So a little small, a little simple, but it fits. It works. And right here, we have a ladder, which takes us to a spiral staircase. Now, when you get to the top of the spiral when we get to the top of the spiral staircase, as you would expect, it just takes you to the top of the lighthouse. So you can just kind of walk around here, get an all-around view of the renovated LCF's world. You can wave to whoever's on LCF's balcony, but you can also come over here, sit on the bench, and watch the sunset without anything in the way. So that's essentially what I have done for Mr. Moderator Dude, everyone's favorite moderator. Now across here, the next, I guess, little region, I guess you'd call it, is the river. I think the river in itself is a bit of a region, simply because I have over here, we have this little canal, which I built like 2 days before the Suez Canal got clogged. Remember when that happened? Remember that? Yeah, remember when that was the big news? Right. But you also have a couple boats over here. This cyan light blue boat, it doesn't really have anything on it, but you can kind of, jump onto it from this little part here. And you have this drawbridge where it would be able to pull up on each side in order to let the two boats through. And you have another boat over here. And this little river just kind of connects into, this river here, which goes over to the end of the world, as well as the river over there. Now, I will say, no, this is actually impossible to go through entirely. You can't, ride a boat upstream in a Xbox One edition, or probably just in any edition of Minecraft. You can't do this, otherwise it just sinks your boat. So what I've done is I've done a kind of sus-looking extra little thing in case, you want to ride a boat through the river. So you can just come through this little secret tunnel, which I have put a ton of effort into detailing, as you can clearly see. There's lots of detail here. It's not just the natural terrain plus dirt plus sea lanterns. No. But if you come out here, out of this little water stream, you come out right next to the canal, and you can just boat your way through the rest of LCF's renovated world. Next to the port area, next to that. Go around the boat, and you could dock right there, but we'll get there in a second. and we can come out in this corner of the world as well. So yeah, boats are cool. I decided to make this a bit more of a water friendly, boat friendly map. So we got that going for it as well. Now I guess front to back maybe. No, I'm gonna kind of wrap around, I guess, like I did in the original, the first take. So crossing this bridge up here, crossing the drawbridge, you come out to this view. Now you have a couple little market stands. These are a bit just a bit for filler. Like there's a lot of filler. There wasn't a lot to work with, but I decided to go on a big scale, so I had to do quite a bit of filler. So you have benches, trees, boxes, and junk, that type of deal. But you have right here, you have a model boat. So if it's just like, oh, I wonder what a boat is like, you can climb up here, and this is the base model for a boat, except with a oak and spruce palette instead of a spruce dark oak or a dark oak palette like that boat is or that boat is. Also, it has no mast, so that's a bit sad, but yeah. Anyway, I guess because I've already essentially covered it, coming over here, I guess down this path, because we may as well. Actually, no, we'll come up here first. Up here, in the original LCF's world, if you make a in the original LCF's world, if you make a right from the little path, this would take you in a little, dirt covered pathway, and at the end of the tunnel, it would give you an entrance to the zoo. However, I moved the entrance to the zoo, but I decided, this area is a bit plain, so I may as well keep it. So I decided to put a little archway above here, so you can have some foliage above on some little spikes and a little, not spikes, a couple, like mine shaft type things, like these little logs with posts and whatever, just a canopy, that's what it's called, right? So anyways, you can come down here, and down here on this side, we'll get there in a second, but over here there's just a whole bunch of more, a bunch of filler junk. So you just have a couple steel bars here, you have a couple of boxes, you have a couple more modern crates, like you'd see on, big ships like the Evergreen, again. And in here we have Poplo's house. Now Poplo's house I decided to kind of merge with the LCF sign, since they were in pretty much the exact same area. So I decided to kind of make this into a bit of a tower here, and just have a long draping banner reading, LCF. Instead of having it just be, tall and horizontal, I decided to make it taller and go vertical, just so I think it would fit. And actually I decided to just tack on Poplo's house in the end, and I think it worked quite well. So you can see just down here, other than this, filler junk, some of these trapdoors keep randomly getting opened because of the, this is a trapped chest, and this is a chest. We don't have the ability to place chests next to each other, but again, I still have blocking, so I win. But right here, we have a stone pillar that goes all the way through the LCF sign, kind of a support pillar, I guess you'd call it. You have an enchanting table, a couple bookshelves, chest storage, a double bed, an ender chest, the same painting from the actual thing, and this long little port, which is where this boat is taking off from. It just picked up a couple crates, and this just picked up a couple crates off of it prior, and is lifting it onto the deck over there. Could you call it a deck? I don't know. Is it a port? Is it a coast? I don't know. But yeah, you also have this little ladder right here that kind of can take you up to the top behind there, if you really want a secondary entrance. Anyways, coming across here, this little, I guess this is like the seaside view. You can come down here, and there's this little room here. Now, this was originally more like exposed, and the point of this room was to have a couple of escapes to lead to to Poplo's, Russian Boys, and Spirit Nemo's houses, in case it's like, oh, emergency escape from whatever the thing was that was inside the haunted house, that episode. Yeah, y'all remember that. But right here, I decided to make it a little bit cozy, because the original was mostly dirt and stone. I decided to keep the foliage on the top. We have a couple of couches here, we have a TV, we have the aquarium from the original, and we have the same little, mossy poles with cobblestone that were there in the original as well. Now, I actually do have this reminds me, I have a photo of me with LCF after he did a live stream. He was like, hey, everyone meet up to do a group photo. and this was the room that we did that in. I don't know. Cool trivia from what's it, 2017? 2017? Goodness, it's been 3 years. But anyways, coming out here, there's just a bit more, a couple more crafting table, note block, slab, junk. You come in here, there's just a bit of graffiti on each side, so it's a bit old. Access to another boat. You run down here, and this takes you to a ladder and another cool view over at the house. So you can come up here, and you can press this button right here. That was good. Oh, come on, man. Right here, and this takes you out of, I guess, what you would call the sewer. And anyways, that's pretty much this entire little coastal ring, I guess you'd call it. Although there is a bit more to the coastal ring. I'll finish up this bottom layer. So essentially, there was this weird half-built house. It was just a single wall of a house. So I decided to keep the idea of there's just a random wall of spruce, and make that along the back of this area instead of just continuing along with the same old andesite, and the stone brick. I decided to switch things up a little bit over there. But yeah, this is essentially what this is. And now we have this little natural path. I keep trying to call it a natural path. A natural path that just kind of comes through this small little forest. You have a little picnic blanket over here. And you also get a nice little access to the river if you want to park your single Minecraft boat next to this area. There's also over here a small tunnel, which leads to the train station, which we will get to later. But yeah, I like this tunnel. This is a pretty cool tunnel, I'd say. Yeah, you come up there and you can see that for now. But anyways, we come all the way back up to the top here, and we see, let's go through the shopping area first. Let's go through the shopping area. Let me grab my iron sword. And yeah, right here is where what the soccer shop turned into. The soccer shop, or the football shop, whatever you call it. You saw nothing? Yeah, the soccer shop, I decided to just flat out turn into a, soccer pitch. So you can just, come in here, cook the soccer ball, which is actually a birch log, so that would probably hurt your foot. But you have two little goals there. You have the orange team and you have the blue team, or the cyan team, whatever. And, it's just, you just play some sports ball. So that's, pretty much where that was. And this is where that house originally was. It was right here. So that's a better replacement, I guess you could say. Now right here we have the arcade, and the arcade originally was very inspired by Pac-Man. If you didn't know, the design was pretty much just this for an entire box. So I decided to make it a lot taller. I made all these buildings a lot taller, and make it into an arcade machine. So you have the two Pac-Man ghosts hanging from the top of the arcade machine with that background as well. And I just put a little Xbox here as well, just because I think, it fits in the console-esque theme. So you can come in here into the arcade. There's the dude that would sit here and give you tickets or allow you in. You can flip the trap door and come in, and then you have the little arcade room. And it's not as big as the original, but I don't know. I still think it fits. You got the little pinball machines there and there. You got the full arcade machines, and of course you have the ice hockey rink if you want to throw your iron sword across the table. So you have that as the arcade. A bit small, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's my favorite design out of all these. Out of how I've changed all these shops. Now, anyways, up here you have the grocery store. Now I decided to change the billboard on the grocery store to be a bit more 3D. So you see, instead of just being entirely flat, you have the bananas outmost, then the apple, then the pear. And you can come inside and you have pretty much the same ingredients as you did before. You have the pumpkin, the hay bale, the melon, the apple. Yeah, just all these things. This is a bundle of apples. If you didn't know, that's what the redstone block means. And then you have the same. Well, not the same. You have a freezer back here, just so you're actually able to buy frozen products from the restaurant. Not the restaurant, the grocery store. And you have the behind the counter area, as you always do in these little builds. And it allows you to come up here into this little, back door onto the ceiling. So you can just, manage the back of here if you really need to. So yeah, I like this one. I like the little flowers there as well. I'm quite pleased with a lot of these. But yeah, back here, we have the fish restaurant, jumping down here again. Also, we have this little strip of grass and leaves and plants, and we have this just small, like, little, I don't know what you'd call it, a concession stand? Something right here? I don't know what you'd call it, but it's selling a dragon head if you really want to look. But we have the fish restaurant here, kept the exact same fish with the banner from before, and in here it's pretty similar. It's realistically it's pretty similar. There's not a lot that's changed, but we do have up here you have a couple more a little bit more storage and a actual furnace, and then up here you have a bit more storage as well. Although it's a bit of a drippy ceiling because there's a bit of water above it, which I will show off where that is earlier. But yeah, probably the least renovated of the four shops there. Probably the least improved one, I'd say. But anyways, to end off the little shopping street, we have right here the clothing store. Now I decided to make this one, it extends up to both levels here. You can see it's there, you can see it's there, and also I'm really pleased with this little design right here. It looks like Drummer Boss's mask, but anyways, you come down here, you come inside, and you have just this wacky little pattern up here of glazed terracotta, and you also have all these little armor selections, and you have two little selections there as well. You can see the guy behind the cashier with, I guess, this is where you'd have like the extra clothing, where if you want to put it back there. And yeah, this is just, cozy little store. Cozy little store. This is probably the most improved of any of these. Anyways, you can come up here, and if I'm struggling to spin around, and this is essentially just a second entrance into here. But in here, this is where that drippy ceiling was. If you recognize the ceiling pattern of that room from there. This is just an aquarium that you can chill out with, or you can just look at the skull that's just there for some reason. I had some squids in there, but I guess they despawned, which just sucks. Even though I name tagged them, so it's very weird. But anyways, you want to come out here. Although, before getting to the rest of this top level, well, let's take a look at the graveyard. So I decided to make the graveyard a bit more separate a bit more separate from the rest of the more urban areas, instead of putting in the rural area, I guess you'd call it. And you have over here the giant tree. Now this tree is where all the apples come from that are in the store. I decided to go with that. So you have a couple apples that have dropped off the floor. There's still a couple in the actual tree itself. But the two the two major graves we do have are those of Young Cheese and Bob. There's a couple of other graves as well. Those are just duds. Not that many people died in LCF's world. It's a short series. There are only two main characters died. I guess you could call main characters, unless you want to call Moderator Dude before he turned into a robot. When that arc happened. But yeah, just a bit more open, a bit more expanded, kind of like a more stone brick type of the transformation I did to the farm. The farm's over in the rural area, but I don't know. I like it. Keep the big tree, and it allows us to have a bit more room for more graves than having a 10 by 10 box. Now that this entire little layer is done, we can come up to the second layer, the second higher layer right there. I guess I'd call this layer the highest layer, the main layer, since it is, I guess, the largest. There's the most, I guess, people-y things up here. You just have this. If you want to run up these stairs, there's just this tunnel. It goes to nowhere. I just thought it'd be cool to put a tunnel here, and it just goes nowhere. That's literally just a black concrete at the end there. So I'm just gonna dump these items there. You saw nothing. But anyways, right next to the clothing store, we have the renovated apartment. And I'm not gonna go into every single apartment, but you have the janitorial room, just another apartment there, apartment there, apartment there, apartment there, apartment there. Although that one is actually kind of unique because it has this little patio area at the back, probably the most expensive one if this were a real place, although we can come out here for a second. But yeah, it's a very crammed interior in terms of trying to get up. I tried to do some staircases, but it just didn't fit in this area. But yeah, it's a small apartment, but it works. And up here on the top, you have an enchanting table because why not? And it's shaded because it has an umbrella, which is good. You have a little pool, jacuzzi, whatever. You have a couple tanning benches or something, tanning beds, mattresses, whatever. You have a grill, for God's sake, and you have a little cozy area just to sit down and chill, eat some lunch, and you can overlook the rest of the LCF Pro renovated world thing. Alternatively, you could just jump off and just start, doing parkour across the top of the top of the buildings. Yeah, you could just jump from there to there to there to there to there if you really wanted, but I don't think you would want to. Next up in the renovated world list is we have right here, we have the running minigame. I don't remember what exactly it was called, but in short, you would run through and try not to get tagged by someone else. But I decided to turn it into a hedge maze just because I think it fits a bit more within this space. Also, there's a bit more like luscious, green things here. I put more spruce, more spruce leaves, more, peonies, a bit more of that type of deal. So I decided to just, keep it small. Also, I don't know redstone. LCF is better at redstone than me, so I couldn't have, replicated that redstone. I never actually finished building the original of this in my original renovation, or in my original replica, because I didn't know how to do the redstone. That's how bad I am. But yeah, you just have these little pathways along the side here, just all aligned with the birch trees. Birch trees are just kind of like the rare trees that just outline everything, or for filler space in this world, I guess. But right here we have the trampoline park, which is, basically the same. I literally just added like a little wall border around it, a couple of entrances, and added a few more cobblestone stairs at the bottom, and removed the pillar that would allow you to, jump up like this. But I don't know. I think it's a really good design. I love this design. It's a great design. So I don't really think I could have improved it, even if I wished, unless I wanted to make, this can be the very top of like 3 layers, and that's another layer, and it just goes down for eternity. It's a big Aztec pyramid of trampolines. That sounds like a cool project, actually. But anyways, across here you have a few more filler things. You have some more market stalls, some more lamp posts. This like kind of leaf, this kind of leaf backdrop. But over here, you have this little statue thing, which was definitely not in the original. I was kind of inspired by the LCF sign to just put another thing here. I was also kind of inspired by the I Heart New York type of posters. I don't know how that inspired me to do this, but it did, I guess. So, I don't know. It slightly inspired me, so I'm just gonna say that's what it was. But over here, we have I think this is the biggest building that I've renovated, which is the, what's it called? The spa. So in here, you can come down. This is where the reception area is. Same as before, pretty much. If you want to just jump over this, you can. Hallway. I like this wave design. This wave design was originally on the outside of the actual building. So you can see that. I put it in a couple of other places as well. Like over here, you see the wave design, except it's over top these little massage benches. Like you have someone here that can massage you as you lay down on this. If you wanted to make it more accurate, you could have put beds, but then that requires night and blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't really work. But out here you have the main room itself, which is, I guess, I kind of turned it into a bit of a pool in reality. So you have this little like pool here. This is all sandy. You get some sand in your toes as you're on the beach. You have a couple little logs with torches on them, a couple little benches for you to lie out on in the sun, get a tan. You have the little sauna area over there, which you can actually sit down in. In the original, it was only like 2 blocks tall, so you really couldn't, chill in here. If I had campfires, you'd be able to just put campfires underneath everything, but I'm on Xbox One Edition, and I have blocking, and you don't, so I win. We have the jacuzzi here, which I just moved out from being, I guess over there in the original, which, I don't know, I think it fits. It also allows it to be more in the shade as well, so if you don't want to be burned, you can do that. And you have over here, this little pattern of spruce and dark oak alternating underneath the water. And yeah, that's pretty much the theory, and I decided to terraform this little, terraform this mountain, just so I wouldn't have to, tear it out or make, a fake backdrop or, whatever, right? So we just have that going on. And the roof stays fairly the same to the actual, original, considering it is mostly, cobblestone walls, spiking on everything, so you got that as well. Now over here outside, you have another market stall, just selling a jungle sapling, because why not? and you have this little alleyway, just because there's just this like 2 blocks of space right here. Trash can, of course. Look at the trash can, it's a bit sussy. You have a couple of boxes over here, more junk. You have this half broken thing. Yeah, this area was very dead for space. I had no idea what to put there. But anyways, right next to it, where there is something pretty cool, we have the art gallery. So I decided to actually look at the Minecraft wiki, and I have every single painting in the game in this art gallery. So you have this place, you know, you get the tickets to go in, the permission to go in, whatever. And along these walls is every single painting in Minecraft. So you come on here, you see all these, you know, 2 tall paintings, and you have the 2x2s there. The rest of the 2x2s are over there. You have the 3 4x4s that are all here. You have the 2 3x4s that are there, the skeleton and the Donkey Kong. And then you have the 2 guys fighting, also known as the one that everyone uses for the TV in Minecraft, in here. So yeah, very colorful roof. It's just a mix of red, green, blue, and yellow. Yeah, so you got that. And then you can just, you know, come out and leave. Now I guess this only really leaves like the last 2, I guess, major builds that you would call it in this world. And if you want to come over here, you can see that this is how I transformed the zoo. Yes, big letter sign, big letter sign. Now I moved the entrance over here just because I thought it would fit better. Oh wait, no, well, yeah, let's tour the zoo. I'll get to that in a second. But we have just the zoo here, the zoo entrance here. Now you can come inside. I kept the exact same little layout entrance here, the same gate. But we have this area, and it's slightly unfortunate that there's nothing over there, so the height is a bit imbalanced. When you like come out over here, it's like you see that up there, you see that there, you see that there, and there's just nothing there except for the iron golem, which I really only added to try to fill the empty airspace. But you know, I still think it works. So you have over here pretty much the exact same enclosures that you had in the original. So we have this little pen here for the horses, which are all H. We have the little enclosure here for the pigs, which are all in the mud. The pigs that are all called P for pig, H for horse, you know, whatever. That's literally what I went with. But we got that here, all this little area of mud. The pigs are all just chilling. Both of these guys have a bunch of hay in case they want to chew down on any. You have the iron golem pen, which is of course empty because Bob passed away. And we saw his grave earlier. We can pay respects in the comments or something. We have the fountain in the center, which originally was just like a pool of water, so I decided to add some vertical height and throw it into an actual fountain. And then we have over here the ocelot area, so you can see all the ocelots. Oh wait, what? Okay, yeah, you can see the name tag. Okay, so you have this little. They have this big rock. It ain't just a boulder; it's a rock. The pioneers would ride these babies for a long time. I don't remember the full quote, but you know, I decided to make it oak and jungle instead of oak and spruce, just because I think the jungle wood fits better with the texture. But we do have some spruce here, which is where you can go in here and look at the ocelots themselves in the wild. Now up here, you can see them, see them from above. If you want a higher up view, you want to lean over the balcony. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Although this is my favorite part of this renovation of the zoo, that is, which is the snow golem part, which you can see SG snow golem. I'm very creative with the names, but right here, you're able to like run up this way, and all the snow golems just are vibing down there. It's fun. It's very fun. And you're able to like interact with them here as well. And they're next to this like big like thin one tall mountain. Not one tall, one thick. It's not the thickest mountain in the world, but it's quite cool. No pun intended. But you also get a decent view of the rest of LCF's world renovated as well. And finally, down here you get to the squid area, which I didn't realize how terrifying of a view this was, seeing the eyes and the mouth at the same time. But, whatever, it's cool. You can walk down here. The squids despawned again. I named all the squids. All the squids were also named S. There were squids in the aquarium from the clothes shop as well, but they despawned too. Kind of cringe. But you have that there. And this takes you out. This is the secondary entrance. into the zoo from the Japanese garden. Now I decided to kind of flip it so that instead of being you go through the zoo to get to the Japanese garden, that you were able to get into the Japanese garden by going through the zoo. So you're able to just come in here. This is the exact same, I believe, Torii Gate, I believe they're called, from the original build. So you have the zoo sign is just there. And I decided to keep all these, God, what are they called? I don't remember what they're called, these pink petal trees. Changed the color. LCF had them as birch. I'd made them dark oak, which I think fits a lot better. And as well, you're able to see pink glazed terracotta. I believe it was pretty much made specifically for that. I mean, it's literally like a bunch of pink petals. Like how much better can you get than that, right? So you have the same little bridge that goes over this little river, which comes out of the little temple there, which originally had a Minecraft beacon. However, I decided to, remove that since it would it would block the view by the trees. Not to mention it would make the height variation totally whack. So I decided to just get rid of it. And you still have the little pink petals that are scattered all over the floor, as well as the lilacs and the peonies and the rose bushes as well. So, very cute area, very nice, very pleasant. And that's pretty much the zoo. Now, I guess, because I skipped over it somehow, you have C right there for cactus. This was the cactus laboratory. This is probably the worst renovation, I will say, of any of these, of anything in this world. This is the worst renovation, I will say, fully. I decided to, add this in here, again, for vertical height, because, having that but then nothing would just be weird. So we have right here a couple of towers. There's orange tower, green tower, and blue tower, which is also me, Clenching Mine Power Creeper, our trio of colors. But, that's an entire video that'll come out eventually. But we got over here this little more secretive staircase next to this random filler junk, which allows you to come up here. You can come inside. This is a little area for storing cactus. There's this area here with a cauldron, some brewing stands for storing potions. And up here, you go up this little ladder next to all this little light gray glazed terracotta. Another filler room with a computer in case you need to Google on the Minecraft Wiki the potion recipes. And you have this decent view of the LCF world renovated out of this dome up here. So it's not the best view. I mean, definitely I think the view from maybe even there, or the lighthouse, or the actual house, or the penthouse, or there's a lot of better places to get views, but this one isn't half bad. So yeah, and then you come down here, and this is the last little bit that I renovated and changed. So you can come over here, jump across this fence, I guess. Sure, why not? And I guess I'll just I'll come in through this way, going through the water hallway again with the wacky colors there. And this is the train station. Now, the train station was originally underground, but I decided to change it, and now it is above ground. And I kept with the LCF theme of having, billboards explaining what everything was by putting a big rail there. And you kept the same little... It's a very checkerboard-based design, as the original was as well. Very, andesite stone brick pattern there with the brown and black terracotta there with the checkerboard... the various lines of stained glass right there. So in here, I decided to... There's only one, way the train can go, which, if you couldn't guess, this also goes to a wall of black concrete. So you can come into that tunnel, and it's probably going to kill you, but, oh well. So you have in here, there's three little lines. You have this little line that's just... Oh, this is the area where the train will take off, which is the orange zone. You have the sandstone zone, which is where, you enter. And you have the red zone, which is where you can buy the tickets to certain areas. Or, tickets to various destinations. And also, it kind of mimics the 3 railways that the original train station was meant to mimic. So you just have a couple of paintings on the wall just to fill space. Paintings are really good at filling space. I will never underestimate the power of paintings again. So you have just a little red carpet there, a couple benches just to chill. You have a couple more benches here just waiting for the train, and you have a couple of vending machines right here, an orange one and a purple one. So yeah, you wait for the train can come, and then it will take off and leave you be. I guess I would call that a renovation well completed. So that is everything that I have really done and flipped and renovated in this, this LCF Pro renovation. This is the entirety of the LCF's world builds, renovated, or else, unless you want to include the sets from some of the other videos, like the Infinite Mansion and the Wither Fight. I could do those, but that would be like a 2-second special if you really wanted it, which I probably won't do, regardless. But this was a ton of fun to put together. I've been working on this since March of 2021. You know, putting all of this together and everything over here, but the house together, since March of 2021. So it's been fun to put together, and I think that concludes this video pretty nicely. So I guess where's a decent spot to log out? I'll do it up here on top of this little post. So I guess if you do enjoy this video, like the video, I guess. Is that like the video, subscribe? Is that how normal outros go? Because my normal outro is me jumping into lava, and there's no lava in this world, which is unfortunate, unless I want to just place lava now. Want to do that? Nah, I'll keep it a bit more formal since it's a bit of a special video. So anyways, I guess thanks for watching. Here's some before and after clips, and yeah, see ya.